All right, we are joined now by UT Martin sophomore Deja Young. Deja, we'll get some questions here in just a second, but can you just give me your general thought on this game and your team's season?
I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna start off with our season first. First and foremost, we're not done yet. This season, I was really proud of my teammates. We battled from the first game to the very last. Today, y'all seen us come back from a lead that could have been stretched out to 40 or 30, but we could have backed down to 7 or 8. I'm really proud of us because they could have went left, but we fought to the end, and I can't be even more proud of our team for doing that.
Thank you, Deja. We'll go to some questions. Let's go to Adam first. If other people have questions, let me know in the chat.
Deja, what was Belmont doing, especially early in the game, to kind of get you girls out of an offensive rhythm?
I don't really think they got us out of an offensive rhythm. We got the shots that we wanted. They just didn't go in. That's it. We got the shots we wanted.
You kind of talked about it just a second ago. You're down 19 heading into the fourth quarter. Like you said, cut it down to 7 points. Just what was going through your heads during that period? What was Coach telling you girls during that little stretch?
I would think, I don't know what's going through their heads, but I'm going to just take a wild guess. We were going to go down swinging. If we were going to go down, we were going to give it our all. And as Coach says, we're going to go down on our terms. We're not going to let somebody punk us. We're going to keep fighting to the very end and make sure that Belmont can't say that they easily beat us.
Other questions for Deja? Let's go to Alex.
Deja, you guys said you're not done yet. You have at least the postseason. We don't know where yet, but how exciting is it to know that you do have Chelsea back, you do have at least one more game left, and you still have a run left in you. Still some more games left to be played. I know today stings, but how exciting is that?
It's exciting, just like any other game, just like we're about to go play any other game. We're glad that Chelsea is recovered and she's healthy now. So we're excited to play with her as many games as God will allow. We'll just keep playing and keep going.
Anybody else? Any more questions for Deja? All right, Deja, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I gave you the chance. I told you to bring my coach. You should have. If that gets my pants wet. Okay, whatever. I'm with you.
You know you're going to have a question for Coach McMillan. Just let me know in the chat, and I'll call on you. Coach, if you'll just start with a general thought in the game, and then we'll go to some questions.
I made some mistakes early that got Belmont in a rhythm, and even though we did correct them, I think the damage was done, and it got some kids feeling really good about themselves, and they played great. Not that they couldn't have anyway, but it kind of went against what I was hoping it would accomplish. And then I thought our kids rushed it a little bit early. I think we got good shots, and we just didn't make some, and I think that got us a little frustrated. And then the second quarter, we didn't lay down. They got on a roll. It kind of became a snowball. They made a couple of shots. We missed a couple of shots, and they started seeing threes fall in, and we make a little mistake. And next thing you know, we're down 15 points. Halftime, I told our kids what I expected, and we did a really good job in the second half, except for right there at the end of the third quarter. If we had not made at a minute and a half, we had it to 11. And if somebody been able to keep it there, it's a totally different game. And then I told them they got 2 offensive rebounds start the fourth quarter, and I told them, I called the timeout and said, okay, guys, we're either going to get beat 50 or we're going to come back and win this game. And we're not going to finish like this. And I thought our kids played hard. And, because I made a few mistakes, we ran out of some time. Is that too much, Kyle?
No, that's perfect, Coach. Let's go to Adam first. Go ahead.
Coach, as I talked to Deja, you had 19. You're down 19 in the fourth, cut it down to 7. Can you just talk about the effort that your team showed during that stretch to be able to do that? Like you said, you're either going to lose by 50 or you're going to try to come back and win it.
Well, that part of that was a COVID thing because, we're a pressing team, but because of the way the year went, we didn't have a summer or fall to work on our press. So we were out there working on our press, which we probably, Deja, if we worked on it at all this year, we hadn't even worked on it. So we, our kids, to give the effort that they gave, it was exceptional. But also, your kids have got to get, well, some of them, the kids that were not quarantined, the kids that didn't have COVID didn't have to test and got to sleep in, but our kids did everything they were supposed to this year. And we had to test every single kid at 5:30 in the morning. So I think 3 games for us with as many different injuries as we had, there was some tired in there. But, give them credit. They did what they had to do, which was make shots.
You talked about how you said you made some mistakes, but was that kind of uncharacteristic of your team during that second quarter where you said where they kind of made that big run to push that lead out before halftime?
Yeah, it was. It was uncharacteristic, but part of that was I couldn't get them in sync. And whenever a team gets a little bit out of sync on offense, it's your coach's job to get them back. And I went probably a complete quarter and never got us back in sync. And it's real. The games are so fragile. If I could have gotten one thing run right, maybe we could have flipped it around, but it just seemed that we were on our heels that whole second quarter. And that ended up being the difference in the game.
I know we've kind of talked about it over the last 3 years of getting to this point and coming up short. And you lose it for a 4th straight year. How tough is that when, you've been to the situation where you've won 4 in a row. Now you're on the other side of it.
It's really not tough. It's pretty much an honor to be in the championship game as often as we have. And and I can go through the years if you want to, but we really don't have time to do that. 2 or 3 of them, we shouldn't have been here. And those kids just played out of their minds. And this year, to be back in it again, Deja, had to change roles in the middle of the season where without Chelsea, Sagan's minutes had to be limited. Haley's minutes had to be limited. Paige's minutes had to be limited. Zaire's minutes had to be limited. Maddie's minutes had to be limited. Kiana's minutes had to be limited. Demaya's minutes had to be limited. And when you've got all that and your kids are still the ones standing in the championship game, that's a great group of kids. And that's what we had. And, we lost. We'll play it again tomorrow. We'll play it again next week. And we'll fight every chance we get.
I know this is not the last game that your team's going to play, but, with your seniors, Chelsea and Maddie, what have they done for this program, to get to this point, like you said, which is an honor, but to just continue the tradition that you have at your program?
Well, there's your question. And the question is, I feel awful for those two because they're going to walk out of our culture teaches you that, it's either win or it's lose. It's either championship or it's a loser or all that kind of stuff. And that's not at all what I believe in and what I'm about. Or at least I hope that's what I'm conveying to our kids. Maddie Waldrop, Chelsea Perry, along with Paige Pipkin, Demi Burdick, Demaya Griffin, Zaire Hicks walked onto this campus 4 years ago, and we were not in a great place as a program. And those two are leaving it, Chelsea and Maddie, and they're leaving it way better than they found it. And we're back to the kind of basketball that we believe in. And if they hang their heads, I'm going to be mad at them because they have no reason to. They went out of this game on their terms, and we're going to play again, and we're going to try to keep playing, and as long as we can. I think Deja said it right. God, please let us keep playing another game with those kids, and I hope we play 6 more. If that's what we can do, because they're just such good people. Chelsea and Maddie are just such good people. I don't want to lose them just as the human beings that they are.
Let's go to Alex.
Coach, what does the next week plus look like leading into Selection Monday?
Well, Deja wants to sleep in next week a couple of days, so we'll probably let her sleep in. We'll take off tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday, and we'll probably come in and practice Wednesday. and we'll see if we can't, get our legs back under us before we find out where we're going to get to go to play. If we had a good OVC push here, you might could argue that we could get an NCAA bid if we got somebody that's really good. RPI is the highest in the history of the conference from what somebody told me. I think we were 28 or 29 the year they throw the RPI out. Our net was high. Us and Belmont were about the same. And we've probably got the mid-major player of the year if she doesn't get hurt. If somebody's any good in there, you can probably say we'll be a 16 seed if you want us to. But give Chelsea Perry a chance to play. Well, since that's probably not going to happen, since we don't have somebody that good, we'll find out where we're playing Sunday, and next Sunday or Monday, and we'll go play.
Anybody else questions for Coach? All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thanks, Kyle.